True showstopper. This is the one. Cam, what is the top 5 recruits since I enrolled till now, which would be in this millennium since I enrolled in 2000, that we lost that hurt you the most? Number 1, Jeremiah Smith. Number 2, Amari Cooper, who I remember as a freshman summer at the old 7-on-7 tournament that was at Disney Wide World of Sports in Orlando with Miami Northwestern, where he was wearing like number 83 way back then. So, you know, him, I mean, just all the dudes who got away, man. Just, you know, Jeremiah Smith at the top because he's the best of all of them. And then, you know, fill in Jerry Jeudy, you know, Amari Cooper, Matthew Thomas, the linebacker, you know, that's up there. You know, Dalvin Cook, just because he terrorized Miami for years. I mean, like, yeah, so there's unfortunately a very long list, but something like that.
Why am I forgetting where Matthew Thomas went?
Florida State.
Matthew Thomas. What year was that?
2012, same recruiting class as Jermaine Grace and Dorial Green Beckham.
Huh.
That's the one famously where we tried to circle back on Sky Moore, the linebacker from American Heritage, who went to South Carolina.
Yep.
And Miami was all in. So it was funny, right? So I'm announcing, I was working at Miramar High School. I was announcing the ceremony because I was announcer for everything, or MC host. So I do that. Boom. One of my buddies, Dieter Kurtenbach, who now works for the Bay Area News Group covering basketball, he was covering preps down here after he had just graduated from Mizzou, and he was waiting on Dorial Green Beckham. I took out my phone, I saw it, and he was going to go interview Grace. I said, Dieter, DGB. He goes, yeah. So he's cheering his thing, and I'm like, okay, cool. The Steve Gorton from then the Sun Sentinel was at Miramar, and he was on the phone with one of his colleagues who was there at Booker T. Washington for Matthew Thomas's commitment. He commits to Florida State, interviews afterwards and said, Miami wasn't even in my top. It was like Florida State, USC, somebody else, and then Miami. But Miami was all in on a 2 linebacker class of Matthew Thomas and Jermaine Grace. This is the same year as the running back, the one who went to Arkansas, whose mama took the papers from South Plant.
Jonathan Williams?
Alex Collins.
Who played with Jonathan Williams. Yeah, in the same backfield. Yep.
Yes. And so then after Miami gets the news that Matt Thomas, nicknamed 6 for his jersey number, so 6 picked Florida State. And then in the interview was just like, I wasn't even looking at Miami a little bit. I say, oh my God, we built our whole class around these 2 linebackers, and we need 2 linebackers. So now let's go back to Sky Moore. Sky Moore, who's from South Florida also, went to American Heritage, wanted to come to Miami really, really badly. We told him no. Call all over the place trying to get to this man. And so we end up calling Chad Wilson. This is Quincy Wilson and Marco Wilson's dad, who played at Miami, who was the defensive coordinator at American Heritage, calling him saying, hey, Chad, cool. Yeah, please go get Sky. We need him. We want to offer him now on signing day, as they're in the auditorium at American Heritage. He's about to sign. And they didn't have Sky's personal number. So they called Chad Wilson, and he's just like, bro, he's about to step to the podium and announce right now. And so obviously we did not end up getting him. He stayed with his commitment to South Carolina and everything. And I'm not talking out of turn, because all these things are out there and have been said for many, many years. But just thinking back to that, so some old recruiting shenanigans that are that had transpired previously in years gone by.
Jermaine Grace, a better linebacker than Matthew Thomas? Now that you mention Matthew Thomas and throw up the number 6, I do recall him. I can't say that I remember how good he was.
Oh, no. He was like a top 10 player in America. No, it was Matthew Thomas and Jermaine Grace was the 2 in that class, and he wore number 2 at Miramar, But it was 6, Country Grace, and then that's it. But yeah, all of those things happened.
But in terms of who turned out to be a better college player,
I mean, they were about the same. Maybe Country Grace a little bit more productive, but I mean, yeah. And I mean, but then at the end, like he got, got kicked off the team and like all those. Yeah.
Because Sky Moore turned out to be better than both of them.
Exactly. And that's the ironic thing because, and he like had a bunch of tackles his freshman year and everything. And so it's just like, well, if you not, yes. So